Come on. There we go. Let's see if we have sound. Come on. There we go. Let's see if we have... And we do have sound. How about that? Now why is that like that? Oh, because I did that by accident. Okay, all right. Put on theater mode by accident. I was wondering why I couldn't see the stream and the chat at the same time, but now I can. Okay. So let's hurry and put the links into the chat. And then we can start right on the hour. If you're watching this later, you just skip ahead a couple of minutes and then get into the meat of the show, as it were. Alrighty. So that's in there, and what time is it? I got 1 minute to go. This is the coughing episode, by the way, I'm sure. Had the pandy, got post-pandy cough. Missed 3 days of work with just the coughing. And then today I go into work and it's 50 degrees outside and they have the air conditioner on because they like it to be 68 in there. And so that was not good to have cold air blowing on the old man for 6 hours, but we made it. We made it through. Alrighty. Okay. Alrighty, it is Ramsey Coach with Coach Steve Money. What number? Number 46, November 18th, 2023. And this show will normally be on Saturdays, just like it is today. Nope, not that. That one. There we go. I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. A little bit qualified to be here running my mouth. Not just running my mouth. Not just some guy in the chat. I'm actually Ramsey Solutions certified. And anyway, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation assessment with me if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track. And you can do that at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. The links are all in the chat as well as in the description below. You can email me about coaching or anything else that's on your mind. Oak Island has just started up again. Episode 3 is next week, and I do no cap recaps of those. And I have a bunch of those on my Oak Island playlist, so you can check that out if you're interested in that. Channel donations can go to paypal.me/Coach Steve Money. You can add me on the gram at Coach Steve Money. Of course, this YouTube channel is youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. All right, let's get going. All right, so Ramsey, what up, A9? I got the cracky bottle. The very thin plastic bottle, so you may hear noise from that. Alrighty, so the linchpin, as it were, of the Ramsey plan are these baby steps. and I'll be referring back to those when questions about them come up. A lot of time to say, when people ask questions on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, and it's like they haven't even looked at these because of stuff they are doing and so forth. And granted, not all of them want to be following the Ramsey plan, but then, why ask on the Dave Ramsey subreddit is my thing. But and definitely don't be surprised when you get Ramsey advice. But so the step 1, 2, and 3 are done in order separately. And step 1, save $1,000 for your start emergency fund. Step 2 is pay off all debt except the house using the debt snowball. That's smallest to largest debt. Somebody one time thought it was smallest payment to largest payment. No, it's the smallest amount of debt to largest amount of debt. And people don't know some of this stuff. You think you just, especially somebody like me that watches all the Ramsey shows or tries to, and of course is a certified financial coach. That's just like ingrained, so it's easier for me, of course. And you think, well, why don't people know that? And it's possible. It just says smallest to largest. It doesn't specify smallest to largest amount of total amount owed. It doesn't say payment or anything like that. So I get it, and so that's what we're here for, to tell people. Step 3, save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. And if you have a house before you start the Ramsey plan, sometimes you don't have to sell it. It all depends on your particular circumstances. If you bought too much house and it's killing you, you probably gotta sell it. But sometimes you don't have to. Now, if you don't have a house yet and you start the Ramsey plan, you don't start saving for a down payment until step 3B, which is in there, which is not listed right there. It's not listed there. But that's one of the missing baby steps. I'm going to do a video on those. The other missing baby step is baby step 0. And there's a bunch of stuff in there, like stuff you do before you would start step 1. And a big one of them is you decide you're not going to do debt anymore, except for buying a residence that you live in. No rental properties with mortgages. All right, so where was I? So 3B, again, is right there. So step 1, 2, and 3 you do in order separately. And also 3B would come after that separately after you do 3. You don't do 3 and 3B, save a down payment at the same time. You do not want to buy a house until you have your full emergency fund. It will not be a blessing if you do not have a full emergency fund, because houses need stuff and stuff breaks in houses. And if you're not renting it, then you have to pay for it. Steps 4, 5, and 6 you do in order all at the same time. You invest 15% of your household income into retirement. You start addressing kid college. Like, you don't need to go crazy and front load it. You just want to plan it out so that when they get 18 in college age, then you have however much you want to have for them at that time. And so you can backtrack through that. You can get that amount, and then you divide that by the number of months before they are 18, and then you save that much per month. Now you can factor in investing and so forth as well, so you get the growth with that as well. And then step 6 is pay off home early, and that is a big part of retirement. And you would pay off your home early before investing more than 15%. Because if you don't do that, guess what? That's debt leverage. And we don't do any debt leverage. That's part of step 0. You're not doing debt leverage again. Like keeping a car loan or keeping a mortgage in order to invest more money, that's debt leverage. And so Dave does not recommend that. And step 7 is eternal. That is build wealth and give. And that covers everything else you're doing. Some people have asked, what's step 8? There is no step 8. Step 7 covers it covers it all. Step 4 never ends. You can invest forever, and that's part of building wealth. And even in retirement, unless you need the money in retirement, why not invest it and still build it? And that way you can leave it to your heirs or a worthy cause. If you don't have any heirs or you don't like your heirs, that does happen sometimes. But in that case, you do want to tell people ahead of time instead of have some dramatic reading of the will. Definitely have a will. And you want to let people know in advance. You say, this is what I'm doing with my money. You know, you get this much, you get this, you get that, you know, that kind of thing. Instead of having it be some dramatic thing after you're dead. Alrighty, so we go to reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. This is not run by Ramsey Solutions. This is run by Ramsey fans. And so there's definitely non-Dave advice given here constantly. And I mean, it's the internet. It's good and bad. And so you're going to get all kinds of stuff on here. And so you just got to know that going in. So we sort by new. Let's see. Step 0, no more debt. Cut up credit cards. Write a budget. Take auto pay off of all websites. Compile a list of things to sell. Yep. Also, 4 walls. You get that in place first before starting step 1. 4 walls would be shelter, transportation, clothing, and food. That's your 4 walls. My pal Sid likes to add internet to that because you do everything. You facilitate everything over the internet. And so I'm fine with that. There was something else I was thinking. Oh, you get insurances in place as well before you start step 1. So, and again, when I learn how to make good videos, I will do that, like kind of like an animated thing or something like that, or like a PowerPoint presentation, some kind of thing like that, where it's not just me saying it, is what I would like to do for that. And so we'll see about that sometime. Insurances in place. Yep. There you go. She typed it in for me. That's A9. Alrighty, so this is Low Tail 3010. I'm surprised I haven't coughed yet. It'll be coming though, I'm sure. What to do? Got an idea. Maybe this, but let's see. For context, I'm 28 male. I'm a man, baby. Married with 2 small kids. Household income roughly $100K this year. Oh, well, that's more than I make, so I can't relate to that at all. That's what you see a lot in the Ramsey Show chat. Oh, this person makes more money than I do. It's not fair. If I made that much money, I wouldn't have any problems whatsoever. I could manage it just fine. And what you don't realize is that people, when they make more money, they spend more money. They get in more trouble. Their debt tends to be relatively the same amount, the same percentage amount. And so, you know, everybody, you can find comparisons with everybody just because they make more money than you. No, part of it's jealousy, of course, green with envy, that kind of thing. But get that a lot in the Ramsey Show chat. We currently have $58K in consumer debt. Pay off your consumer debt. That's part. Oh, I forgot to show if you scroll down to, where is it? Well, this is some weird view of it. It's not showing. Oh, home. There we go. Okay, so video, Oak Island, past live streams, Ramsey Coach, that's this show. And the music playlist down here, I got it's like 6 or 7 Ramsey adjacent songs. Listen to those if you would like to. And that part is from the original Dave Ramsey Baby Step song. There's also the newer one, Baby Step In, which is to the tune of Dua Lipa's Levitating. But that one is the Pay Off Your Consumer Debt, is part of the Baby Step song. All right, let's see. Boom. Where were we at? Oh, 21.9K auto loan, 37K personal credit card loans. Yeah, see, this is probably much higher debt than you have if you don't make 100K a year. You don't probably have that much. I hope you don't have that much. And roughly 5K medical debt incurred over the last year. Last week, I was involved in a car accident, totaled my car. That was paid off. At least that was paid off. I received the cash value of the car minus my deductible of 5K. I know this is a large deductible. Large deductibles are fine. That's how you pay less insurance. I learned my lesson and lowered it to 1K. The 5K is fine. You just got to not be in debt and have your full emergency fund. And then you get to pay less for insurance because you have a higher deductible. I received 4.3K for the car, and while I'm waiting to be compensated for 5K deductible from the at-fault insurance. Okay, right now I have a 17K in a savings account. Well, so if you looked at the baby steps, you would see you're just supposed to have $1,000. It doesn't say, oh, we'll have 16,000 more in a savings account. And don't put that towards your debt. It doesn't say that there. So you would just apply that to the lowest debt, which is what? Which is the 5K medical debt, looks like. 17K savings account with debt we have now and needing a new car. What do I do? You buy the cheapest car you can. You have too much debt to get rid of to be buying an expensive car. You buy the cheapest car you can that would get you from point A to point B. We need 2 cars because, okay, so you do have the other one already. I guess you're paying it off. I mean, that one, 21.9K for auto loan. You could sell that one and get a $10,000 car instead for the missus. And for you, you can get a much cheaper car than that even. Like the cheapest car that you can get. Do I use a 17K plus? No, you don't use that much. No, you can use a little bit of it to replace that car. And then, like I said, maybe then you sell the other car. So, I mean, basically, you got to make some changes in order to get rid of all your debt, if that's what you're planning on doing. But that may not be what people aren't always planning to do the Ramsey stuff, even though they ask for advice on here. So, but the Ramsey plan would be to pay off the debt, and so you would use all but 1,000 of your savings to pay off debt. And like I said, you can also use that to replace that car that was totaled. All right. So that wasn't too bad, right? I mean, I totally support you doing what you want to with your money. So let that be clear. I just think the best thing for you to do with it is this. Oh, let's see. Money relative. I noticed someone who had an income of 250K who had the same net worth as her. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. People get blinded by the fact that they don't make that much money and that's all they think about. And they think if I made that much money, it wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, you'd be able to pay off your little debt, but if you made that much money, you would have more debt than that, most likely. All right. Father not on the same page financially with Fami. Is that family? Supposed to be? Maybe. Oh, look, it's, what is that? 100, what is that? Is that pounds? That's not a pound with the C with the 2 lines in it? Right there. I don't know if you can see that. You're probably watching on your phone, which I would never watch a video like this on my phone. My goodness. Do it somewhere you can read along. If he gets under 0 in his bank balance day or 2 before his payday, that a lot of people do that. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. But he has some cash, 100 something in his, I don't know what that is. Let me see if that'll come up in a web search. What is that? Oh, a euro. Okay. All right, that's a euro. All right, great. Learn something. Hey, none, it's a euro. So instead of using money wisely, right? He doesn't do it. He's not, And since he's your father, Dave often says that one thing or two things that parents don't want to hear from you about is sex and money. They don't want to talk with you about that. And so, what you can do is just be better with your money and be a good role model. But, you can talk to, if it's willing to talk to you about it, you can tell them, how about trying this? Your way's not working that well. How about giving this a shot? And then if you don't like it, you can be stupid with money again. But let's see. I don't understand this behavior. Yeah, it's not really logical. It's just people want to buy stuff. Yeah, bought expensive surfing and kayaking gear. People like to buy stuff. That's normal. We're not normal, and so you, my friend, are not normal either. But being intentional with money, having a budget and stuff, that's not normal, which is sad, but true. Spends 350 euros on tobacco and then save pennies on necessary purchases. He also goes out to eat and buys a lot. Yeah, okay. So he bought luxury things for 9-year-old son. Oh, 400 euro Ray-Ban glasses. Oh, did you not get any Ray-Ban glasses or a diesel watch? Which he then loses, or he is a kid. Okay. Are you jealous about that? Or are you just pointing that out? We don't know. On the other side, family uses money wisely and they are building up wealth, which he will often use and ask for loan from them because of bad financial lifestyle, right? Do not loan money to anybody, especially friends or family. You do not do that. And so, yeah, but you're probably not going to fix him. You could try to talk to him about it to do better. You can tell him the things that you're doing. To try to motivate him to see that it's possible. But generally, parents don't want to be told how to live their life from their children, from somebody that they've changed diapers for. So a lot of times they don't want that. There's a cough. All right. Frankie Coffee Cake 11. Mortgage pay off equation. When looking at investing versus paying your mortgage early, what equation do you use? Specifically, is the total mortgage principal relevant to the interest saved? All that matters because a lot of times, like, people will look at, well, I can make 10% in the market on it, and my mortgage is only 3, 4, 5%, something like that. But what you're not considering is by letting the mortgage go its full term, which for most people, that's a 30-year mortgage. That is a ton of interest. So you have to tack that on instead. You have to tack that on because that's going to be so much by the end. So you do have to include that in. You can't just go it's going to make this much interest and I'm paying this much interest on it, because over time that is going to add up like that on the mortgage. And by paying it off early, then you save a ton more. You could maybe even save more than you would make by paying it off early. So yeah, you do just have to do the math on it. But the main thing is that instead of investing like for retirement, is what the investing would normally be for, not just trying to make money to spend. But for retirement, if you have a paid off house, then you don't have to pay rent during retirement. Then you have somewhere to live for free, other than, of course, the regular house expenses and fixing things and so forth. But you don't have a monthly payment for rent or mortgage if you pay that off. And that is a huge thing in retirement. So, I mean, a lot of the Ramsey stuff is about risk too. So you do, and there's no risk button. If you look on the calculator, there's no risk button. So there's no equation for risk there. So, but that's the reason that Dave does not do debt leverage. Too much risk. All right, Anonymous. Got news this week of my pending layoff. That's not fun at all. None of my peers had any idea it was coming, considering how vital we all thought our roles were managing our product teams. Yeah, apparently not. They laid off 40% of us product owners. A lot of us had just started this year. Highly confident in ability to find another job. Great. Still scared, thinking what if it takes a long time to find another role? It won't. You may have to take a job temporarily, one that you think you are too good for. So, wife is pregnant. They're paying for 6 months of health care. Her income isn't really that great right now. Looking at my house, everything we own. It's a difficult feeling trying to stay upbeat and confident. Now, when you say everything you own, do you actually own it, or do you have it and it's debt? Because that really isn't yours because you haven't paid it off yet. Unemployment payment will help somewhat. Yeah, so what you need to do is get your butt to work. Find something. Worst case scenario, have to drive for Uber or something. Yeah, do it. I do not want to pile up credit card debt, then don't do it. I'm very good with that. I'd rather pull out of retirement before getting into debt. Okay, the Ramsey advice is you don't do either. You get your butt to work doing anything you can, is the Ramsey advice. So you don't wait a year to try to get something comparable to the job that you had. You take a job that you think is beneath you instead of doing that. Keep the home after separation. It might. I could see both ways on it. It depends if it's not going to be too much house for you on your own. It would have to be that, and also it would not have to remind you of the failed relationship as well. So, I mean, that could happen. You could stay in that house, and then it could make you very sad. So, let's see. Let's read the rest. We've been doing the Dave Ramsey program for 7 years and currently in baby step 6. Oh, great. The separation is not great, but the fact that you're in baby step 6, that means you don't have debt to split up, and that makes that so much easier. We have 3 teenagers, 2 of which have college funded. Great. We have a house worth roughly $500K, on which we owe $185. There are 7 years left on that 2.7%. Early 40s, retirement is on track, I think. I have around $500K in there. So you could work 25, 30 more years and invest 25, 30 more years. I think you'd be all right there. Around 350 in hers. Unfortunately, things between us aren't so good lately, right? And we're likely headed to separate. As it looks today, I would need to cash her out of the home, and that's it too. And we would, because I like the house and she doesn't. It's an older home with few quirks, but I know it well. It doesn't matter if you know it well. If you planned on there being 2 incomes to pay for that house, and then all of a sudden, now you would have to buy her out of it. And so that means you would have to take on more debt too. And so instead of, because you wouldn't be just splitting the debt, you would have to maybe take out a loan, is what you're thinking, to do that, unless you have money laying around where you can buy her out of the house. So in that case, I'm gonna think probably no on that one then. So I mean, because you owe 185, and now she's gonna want some of the equity that's in it as well as you buying her out of future payments, that kind of thing. So it might just be easier to sell it, and if you've been If you've been in the house for 8 years, then I guess if this is a 15 or longer, if it's a 30, then you would have equity in it, and then that would make you money. It's worth roughly 500, and so maybe you make 100K each or 50K each, something like that. And so that's probably what you should do. So most likely you wouldn't want to keep it, especially if it's going to put you into so much debt that you now would have to pay off all by yourself. Alrighty. Let's see. Violinist low 2462. 401k while paying off debt. Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full. I like Dave's advice except for that part, right? Currently paying off student loans down to 81 from 134k. That part is excellent. I'm working 2 jobs, throwing every penny in student loans and basic needs. One thing I get hesitant about, my job provides a 401k on top of a generous pension. I haven't been excuse me, the coughing episode. Haven't been maybe brave enough to stop putting money in the 401k, although I've cut down on contributions considerably down to 200 a month, 100 every check. Yep. Just wondering, should I cut contributions? Yes. Temporarily, yes. It's just a hashtag season. It's just a season. And then when you get done with your debt and you have your full emergency fund, then you can do that. Then you can invest again. Going to the rate I'm going, I'll be done paying by March 2025. But you could, yeah, it would be nice to throw more money to the debt. Yes, it would be. And that's why he recommends that. How about that? You figured it out. 3,200 a month now. Well, that's great, but it could be more. It could be 3,400 a month. And that would get you out of debt quicker, and that would allow you to be out of debt. And then you can have your full emergency fund, and then you can begin investing again. And it would be more than just the 200 because you cut down on it. Then you can actually do the 15% of your income. And so then it would go back up quickly then. Okay, traffic 9389. Thoughts on bringing envelopes to bank accounts? Like many during the pandemic, had problems doing the envelope system given the lockdowns, working from home and having direct deposit. I had a thought the other day that maybe Dave Ramsey might have the ability to partner with a financial institution to bring the envelope system into the cashless era. I think a credit union would be a good place to start, as they tend to be more focused on client services rather than corporate profit. Here's the plan. Oh, the person's figured it out. Your main checking ATM account, called Cash on Hand, will contain the amount that you need for a few days of spending. This is just like, I mean, you can do this now. You can put your money in different buckets. They have that now. They have that now, so you can do that. So, I mean, it doesn't say it's an envelope. It doesn't say it's the cash on hand like you want it to, but you can still do that. You can still separate it like that. So that's basically in existence already. Just not Ramsey branded and not exactly like you want it. Baby step 2, career advice. And, you know, I mean, do it if it's going to help you stick to the budget. You do it like you want to do it, to the best of your ability, without requiring Dave to do something like that, or Banks to do something like that. Blart Flart, very nice. Baby step 2, Flare career advice. I have a career advice question. Wife and I made a decision pre-Dave Ramsey, quit my job to allow myself to work full-time as a day trader and run our real estate business. Bad decision. No crap. No crap, it was a bad decision. I was hired temporarily on a contract to hire in April with an end date to be open to hire in January. I'm working now for a company that I absolutely love and in a career field that I feel God led me to. Long story. Great. Was told my initial interview after a project I have been on in Arizona. I can work from home in Kentucky and travel periodically. War and Peace here. Yesterday, my wife caught off guard. Boss telling my hiring agency I'm with that I would have to go to another project for 6 months in Louisiana for 6 months, and then I would definitely be working from home and travel periodically like we initially agreed upon. Yeah, unfortunately, your work can tell you they need you somewhere else. That can definitely happen. On top of that, be home for 2 month minimum between projects and work. Yeah, I'm conflicted as if I take him in his word. Your employment can change their mind at any time unless they have a contract that binds them to give you those hours or whatever parameters are for your employment. They can change their mind generally. So you just have to be prepared for that to happen, especially in a thing like you're trying to do here. I mean, you know, your job isn't like you go in and punch into a place and you work at that place and that's it. You know, you're trying to do like a place that through a hiring agency, and then where you do different projects in different states, that kind of thing. What is that beeping? Is that my phone? No, it's beeping. It's not Reddit. Is it? It's not YouTube. Weird. All right. So yeah, you can't take their word because it's already changing from what they said originally. Our finance is definitely much better now. Okay. I'm confused if I'm to look elsewhere or bite the bullet and go for Louisiana for 6 months and trust there won't be another long-term stay after. That's up to you to decide. But realize that it could change again. You feel God led you to this role? You know, I mean, I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong about that, but I don't know that you're right about that either. So you just can't say God led me to this and just do anything. You can't do that. I mean, if God really wants you to do it, God would provide like more stability around that, probably, is what I'm thinking. At least my God would do that anyway. I didn't even apply to it and was hired on the spot in my second interview. Well, that's great, but, you know, then to work there, you have to be willing to put up with them changing their mind about what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. What would you all do in this situation? I would decide whether I wanted to be working in those parameters or not. If not, look for a different job. It has been helping us crush debt. Yeah, the more money is great, but you have to be willing to do what they want you to do for the more money. Absolutely, you love the career as well, so you just don't want to be caught off guard again. You may. They could change it at any time. Good luck on that. Pro Bill of Rights. Condo development strategy. Own property in Hoboken, New Jersey. No debt. Excellent. Currently the property is worth $1.6 million. The average 3-bedroom condo goes for about $1.2 million. I would like to do a complete new condo build. Sell each condo off. I'm in the preliminary stages of trying to see if a construction loan, Dave's not doing that, or a HELOC loan, and which one I should pick. Dave's not doing either of those. So we're right with the no debt to begin with, and now you want to have business debt. And no, you grow business at the speed of cash, so you don't do any of that. If I understand correctly, with construction loan, we need to wait for approval with, yeah, it gets complicated when you start doing loans and HELOCs. Yeah, it does get complicated, which is why it's not recommended on the person whose name is on this subreddit. Wall Street Journal, there's a real reason a killer money-saving app still doesn't exist. What is that? And there I mentioned Dave. I don't get it. Oh, is that the what's that? The one that went away? The what is it? Mint budgeting app. Texas Scorpio girl. My CPA suggested I take out a HELOC. Forgot the O there to pay off my 40K credit card debt. Confident I can pay my debts off in 2 years. I have 100K equity in my home, but I don't like the idea of getting another loan. Yeah, don't. What are your thoughts? For those assuming everyone with a credit card debt is irresponsible, please stop. Well, it is. You're on the Dave Ramsey site, and he's the no debt guy. Dave Ramsey subreddit, it says right there, r/Dave Ramsey. He's the no debt guy. He's not going to say take a HELOC out for any reason at all, especially not to pay off other debt. You're just moving the debt around there. I mean, the CPA wants to play musical chairs with your debt, and instead, you just need to pay it off instead. Business suffered in COVID. Yeah, a lot of them did. And I put business expenses on credit cards. That was a mistake as well. You did it wrong. You're trying to pay it off now. Keep doing that instead of borrowing more money to pay loans. That's something like the United States does. I believe I read they had to take out a $666 billion loan to pay the interest on another loan in this past quarter. So I didn't have to lay off team members. Yeah, I mean, business is hard. When you're the boss and you're running the business, that's hard. And you're paying off the debt. Paying off the debts is great, but using debt as a crutch to be able to get you through bad times is not how you run a business, according to, I don't know, the guy whose name is on this subreddit. So you can do what you want to do. You ask on here. So expect to get Ramsey advice instead of everyone with credit card debt is not irresponsible, but having credit card debt at all is irresponsible. So there you go. Is Andy okay? That reminds me of, what is it? The coughing episode. Smooth Criminal. Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Hey guys, my partner and I on baby step 2. It's the holiday season. How do you go about the gift? How do you do about the gift when you have limited budget but big family? Our budget for gifts are likely not going to get everything every family member's wished for. Yeah, also, do you tell them to not give you gifts? To be fair, if you want to, you can tell them that. Otherwise, you just do the best you can. Dave likes to say, hey, Christmas is going to be a craft. You're going to make stuff this year. You're going to make something this year. Make cookies and give those out, something like that. He says you're going to make something and have it be as little expense as possible. And again, it's not for every Christmas, but it is for this one. Compote Smooth. 49:46, the coughing episode. What time is it? Oh, only got 18 more minutes to go. Cool. I'm only going to do an hour because of the coughing. Normally, I like to talk more than that. You guys know that. Adon fell asleep, I bet. She's in the UK, and it's many, many hours later there. It's like, what is it? Like 8? It's like 2 o'clock there, I think. How to get back on track? Back on track. Gonna get you back. I can't remember that song. What song I'm thinking about there? Newly divorced. Set a savings plan of $500 per a month. Got off the ground running. Then month 3, my son needed dental surgery. 12 months. That'll happen. Yep. Had to dip into savings. Yep. The next month I needed unexpected dental work. A lot of dental work happening all of a sudden. I hope you got another opinion for both of you instead of just putting this, paying for this dentist's house or a hot tub or whatever this dentist wants to buy. Had to dip into my savings just back to back. Determined to recover, but realistically it will take me 4 months just to get back to what I started with. But for my plan, just venting really, it can get frustrating sometimes. Yeah, it can be. Now, how you can combat that is to cut other unnecessary things out of your budget. Quit buying expensive food, quit eating out if you're doing any of that kind of stuff. Work more, spend less, the same normal stuff that you do. The 8% rule. Alrighty. Adventurous Buyer 152. Maybe I'll make this a clip. 8% rule. Been seeing a lot of David's wrong posts about his 8% withdrawal. I really don't understand why he's getting blasted online for it. Yeah, I don't know either. 436 comments. I don't understand what the problem is. First of all, you even saying a rule, trying to make a rule when you don't know what your expenses are going to be in retirement. You don't know if 8% will be enough. You don't know if the 4% that the people say that George said in his video, which I think was about retiring early. So that would assume like a 30-year-old retiring. And of course, they may not have the option to take out as much because they haven't invested as much for as long because they chose to retire too early. But regardless, either 4 or 8%, there's no need to like make a plan because you don't know what it's going to be. So my plan is just you make as much money as you can in retirement and then you only take out what you need. So, but the idea about the 8%, everybody's saying it's 4% and stuff like that because they're trying to factor in inflation. When they go to the grocery store, do they factor in inflation? Do they when they buy a car, do they factor in inflation? No, they just factor in inflation when they want to try to make a point and do financial theory. Financial theory is boring to me. Just work with the numbers that you have at the time. And so, I mean, you can plan. There's nothing wrong with planning. But again, how is you saying, oh, well, 8% is better than 4%, or 4% is better than 8%? You saying that it's a waste of time because you don't even know if 8% will be enough. But what Dave is saying is that you can take out 8% because the freaking S&P and anything you invest in should be more than that. The S&P makes an average about, I think it's back up to like 10.5 or close to 11% average a year. And so if that makes 10% up to 10 to 11% per year average, then guess what? That means you can freaking take out 8% and it won't touch the principal of your investment. That's only going to take the growth out. Now, yes, nobody said that it's going to definitely make 10% every year. Nobody's saying that. But over the average, it will work out. And so it's stupid. So that's my 2 cents on that. And so, but I mean, why Dave got upset about it, I don't really know. I didn't watch George's video about that. So, but I think he was talking about the FIRE, fixed income retire early thing. And so he was given a scenario with that, and he wasn't recommending that. So, but yeah, I mean, he gets blasted online always about saying the 10%, even though other, Wall Street Journal even says, yeah, or if you Google it right now, S&P 500 on average makes over 10% a year. So shut up. And if you want to sit around and talk about financial theory and say, well, we could do this or we could do that, you don't know what things will cost in 30 years. So you don't know what'll be enough. I mean, you can, conjecture about how much is safe to take out without compromising the principle. Guess what? That might not be enough. You might have to compromise the principle so you can take out enough. Make as much as you can and take out only what you need. Everything else is dumb. Waste of time. Boring. I mean, I'm sure financial professors and stuff like that, they don't have anything better to do. That's their job, to talk about that stuff. And then other people try to talk about it to make themselves feel smart or something like that. You don't know what the frickin' stuff is going to cost in 30 years when you retire. You have no idea, so shut up. Baby step 2, that'll be a good clip. Baby step 2, Flair here, day in 1-3 threat. Has been a poster on here before. What time was that in there? That was about 7:45 when I started talking about 45 minutes in. So I'll have to remember that, so I can clip that. Maybe that'll go viral. That would be fun. Steve yells at financial theorists, dumb financial theorists, time wasters. It's boring to me. It really is. Anything where inflation is a thing. It happens. Anything you try to let's factor inflation into that and let's do it into that. So, unless you factor it into everything in your life, why bother? Why bother factoring it into just this one thing? Stupid. All right. Tips for food budgeting. You don't buy the expensive stuff. You quit buying the most expensive stuff. Buy the cheaper stuff. Is how you do that. I feel that we consistently spend a lot on food, and so if you find that, sorry, not feel it, find it, probably close to $1,000 per month. Yes, that's a lot. How many? There better be 8 of you. Let's see if that person says how many. When combining groceries and those few times we get stuck and have to get something to go from a restaurant, that never happens. You never have to. People need to shut up about that too. We had to do that. No, you didn't. You chose to do about it because you chose to do that because it was easier. Stupid, dumb. You did not have to do that. You chose to do it. It's fine. It's your money. Do what you want to with it. But don't say you had to do that, because that is BS. Part of the I could include that in the clip too. That's fine. Part of the reason for this, I'm a health fanatic. Yeah, you can't be one for a season. Tough. Buy the cheaper food that's not as good for you for a season, and then you can get back in shape later when you can have more, when you can spend $1,000 per freaking month later. And you can do that, but that would be like some of your fun money. You would buy expensive health food in order to instead of go on vacation, or instead of buying a game console or something like that, you can buy that instead. So you have to do that. You cannot do everything, and you can't just replace food with, I got to buy this expensive kind of food. I have to buy it. No, you don't. You're choosing it. So let's see. I factored in a budget of $15K take home per month, and they What in the world? So technically, it isn't too much for our budget, but I also don't want to waste money where we don't have to. Any tips? Yeah, don't buy the expensive food. Don't buy the expensive health food. While you're paying off debt, you buy cheap food. Rice and beans, beans and rice. I don't care about your health. You can eat bad for a year. 125K in student loans, annual income of 215 to 230K. So you've lost people already because you make too much money, and they don't want to hear that crap. So yeah, you're spending too much. Definitely don't do that. Alrighty, Obvious Field 2716. How do you get your family on a budget? Well, I live with my 2 grown children and husband. Grown children need to be contributing to living there if you're going to still let them there. But other than that, Dave thinks grown children need to be living on their own. Go, fly away. Fly away. Love you. Come visit, but don't live here anymore. My husband and I are both retired. Husband and daughter think I'm crazy for worrying about money. Yeah, so the main thing is you have to compromise with your husband about the budget. And then if you're not going to kick the kids out, and if you want them involved with it, then they have to agree to it, or again, you kick them out. So that's everything you're doing here is wrong so far. We have plenty of money, but somehow about that. No, you don't. Apparently you don't. We're always putting things on credit cards. Then apparently you don't have plenty of money. You're spending too much. No car payment. Our mortgage is very low. You're spending money on some crap. With a few credit card payments. 30K on a home equity line. Yeah, see, you're doing it wrong. You're doing everything wrong. I actually get yelled at when you mention budget. Are you crazy? Only somewhat in thinking that you have plenty of money. So you too are still in a little denial about it. But you're doing more thinking about it than anybody else is, so that's good. So keep thinking that way. And then again, you have to say, I really want to do this, and so we need to compromise on this budget thing. And so you have to work that out with your husband. And some people can't. And if you can't compromise with your husband about money, then that's time for counseling, because then there may be other issues behind that. Other relationship issues. Alrighty, what time is it? 5 more minutes. Great. So I haven't coughed as much as I thought I would. Relative ad, of course. Relative ad 7658. Seeking opinions of like-minded people. Caution, you may consider me ish. So you want ish people to weigh in? I mean, I'll weigh in realizing that you're ish ahead of time. Okay, fine. I have friends that are ish. I have friends that don't do Ramsey at all. I have friends that believe in staying in debt. So it's fine. But I will just weigh in. Closing on new home tomorrow. Lender's atrocious. I want to make my benefit for my loan as little as possible. That's being petty. That's stupid. If you're buying a house, you buy a house. And if you don't like the lender, don't use them again if it's too late to get out of using them now. But the second you realize that they were atrocious, you should have tried to go with a different lender. So I plan to work extra as much as possible and thought it would be cool to hear others' opinion about what I may be good at to make more money to move this along. We don't know what you're good at. You would know best on that. Bonus points for including resources. Tell me everything that I can do to pay this off quicker because I want to be petty with this lender. And you tell me what you think I'd be good at, dumb. So I'm not weighing in because I think that's dumb. Making important decisions after death of spouse. Help, please. Okay, the default thing is to not be in a rush to make the difficult decisions. Like, for example, what to do with $100,000, $1 million, multiple millions of dollars of life insurance, that kind of thing, of what to do with that. You put that in a nice little high yield savings account. And when you can think clearly, take a year if you need to. When you can think clearly, then you start making decisions with that money. Obviously you got to pay bills and such and so forth, but for the immediate time, you have to grieve first. And so you do that first and get yourself in a headspace where you can think clearly about this stuff. Can't believe I'm about to need to make some important decisions and soon. Well, not really, unless like I said, you have to you don't have a way to pay the mortgage, that kind of thing. Let's see, he was 50 and I'm 45. There's a lot of debt. Oh, so you could pay that off. You could, even that, Dave says to just chill on that and just pay minimums if you can for a while, so you don't have to think anymore about it. But if you want to do that, just pay off the debt with any of that, with any insurance, that kind of thing. If there's not any, like, you may have to liquidate. You may have to sell the house and such. Handle all the finances. I've been going through everything. There were bills piling up for years. We're behind in the mortgage. Oh no, we're selling the house. Oh, actually closing the schedule for December. Okay, great. So you do have to pay the mortgage through December then. I did not quite realize the extent of the debt, right? Yeah, I blew with all the savings and no life insurance. Okay, well, never mind about that then. I will have at least $400K from the sale of the house after back taxes and utilities are paid off. Okay, and $30K in cash. Okay, we have 3 kids under 16. So there will likely be Social Security payments for them, right? But that will take some time, right? I pay family health insurance and put a small amount into retirement. I take out, give me $6,600 a month. That's not bad. In the past, my financial, again, it depends on where they live, how much that mortgage payment is and such. But if the house was being sold anyway to hopefully take care of some of the debt, maybe that's why that was already happening. I pay our family health insurance and put a small amount. Okay, blah, blah, blah. In the past, my financial responsibilities were my own debts and everything related to kids, childcare, clothes, activities, etc. Here are questions I need to answer. Which debt do I address? I have $15K in consumer. All of it, if you can, from the, what did you say you'd be getting? $400K from the sale of the house. Yeah, you address all of it with that $400K. When that $400K comes in, here's what you do. You do all of this. Baby steps in order. The advice doesn't change in this case, but it puts if you can't just tread water while you pay off stuff, especially since you're selling the house, you do have to deal with that. So unfortunately, it does sound like you can't like take a year off to grieve, and you have to take care of some of this stuff. So yeah, with your profit from the house, your $400K and $30K in cash, so you got $430K. Yeah, you would apply all of that to any debt, and hopefully that's enough to get completely out of debt. Now, if the debt is only in his name, you don't owe it. Unless you want something that like would be in his estate. That kind of thing. But it doesn't sound like there's anything like that where you would need to pay off his debt in order to keep something. I don't think so. But you can consult a lawyer on that. I mean, it's $20K. You could also just pay it as well. Student loan debt, $15K and $100K. So you have enough. I mean, I understand you want the $400K to last you as long as possible. Well, if you don't have any debt payments, then you can use your fabulous income to take care of you for as long as possible. Should I buy, rent, or move in with family temporarily? I mean, you could. You could if you need to, if you like, especially if you want to be around family while you're grieving. If you are, I don't know the relationship here, so I do not know what the relationship was like. So, but assuming that you're grieving, you might want to be around family temporarily. And so if you think that's the best to do, then you should do that. Otherwise, probably rent until you figure out what you want to do. I wouldn't rush into buying a house. It would be very uncomfortable, but it's my only choice. I would do it for 6 months. Oh, so if you think it would be uncomfortable and it wouldn't help you, don't do that then. Should I save some of the cash? No, you should pay off all your debt. I'm scared now that I'm responsible for it. I want to make good decisions, not mess this up. This would be an opportunity for me to turn things around for my family. Okay, so, I mean, this, I mean, it really is so simple, and a lot of people don't like it because they want their little situation to be special, and they think they're an exception, etc., but it's really not. Whenever you decide, I'm going to start following Dave's advice, then you don't work the baby steps around your life. You fit your life to the baby steps, and so you do that. That's pretty good. Quick clip as well. But yeah, so that's what you would do in that situation. Normally, as I said, he recommends grieving time, but it does seem like you're on the clock with some stuff, and when that's happened before with callers and stuff, he said, well, just if you gotta address that, just do that, but like don't make long-term decisions right now. And paying off debt isn't a long-term decision. It's a long-term decision to pay it off and don't take out anymore. But you would have to pay off the debt anyway. So do that now, and then you don't have to worry about. That's something you don't have to worry about again. 805. I said, what up, Margs? Look what popped up on my YouTube feed. Hi, Steve. I am so blessed to have popped up on your YouTube feed. That makes me very happy that I did that. Spouse thinks I'm weird. Yeah, that could happen. Baby step 2 complete. Paid off student loan and credit card finally. 1 month emergency fund established. Feels good. So if your spouse thinks you're weird, does that mean you have separate finances then? So that isn't the greatest thing, but if you are married and you want to stay married, you have to do compromises. And if the separate finances are, Dave doesn't recommend it, but if you guys can work through that and it's not a problem for either of you to have separate finances and it doesn't cause other problems in the relationship, which it can, then more power to you. You got to do if you want to stay together, you have to do what keeps you guys together, unless it's hurting one of you. This is the coughing episodes, Margs. I got the post-COVID cough. Didn't get COVID for 3 years. It finally got me. Financial coach told me to skip credit card payments, not even making minimum payments. That is generally not the advice. Let's see, wife and I currently go through FPU for the first time and had an introductory private meeting with the coach. We're in baby step 1. Struggling to find any margin in our budget to make extra payments on our smallest debt besides increasing our mini monthly. Blah, 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 blah. The only reason that let's see. He said if we just stop paying those, that's excess 745. We can throw it on other lower balance debt. Yes, it'll tank your credit score. Okay, I love that. Right? We don't care about that. Okay, that's great. They don't sue until after 6 months. They probably send it to collections, which will settle for 22 cents on the dollar. But the plan would be to skip those payments for a couple months to get the debt snowball rolling, then go back and start those minimum payments again when you're good and ready. Is that a good idea? Credit card score aside, is this advisable? That's one I hadn't heard before. Not really. It's not really advised. And because that's exactly what, if you do a debt consolidation loan or work with any kind of debt fixing program or anything like that, that's a lot of time what they do. But they take a good chunk of it. They do take a bite. And that's why Dave calls them a consolidation, is because what they do is you give them the payment money instead of you paying the minimum payments. And so, of course, then your stuff goes into collections and then they can settle it for you cheaper. But meanwhile, they're taking all those payments and they're charging you fees for that. You cannot pay something on your own without a third party being involved and taking a little taste of it. So you can do that all by yourself. As far as a financial coach recommending it, the only time you would not make minimum payments on it, which it sounds like you can make minimum payments on it, the only time you wouldn't is if you can't afford the necessities. If you can't afford the four walls, transportation, housing, clothing, food. If you can't afford those and make the minimum monthly payments on it, then you wouldn't make the minimum monthly payments on it. If you can afford to make minimum payments on it, then you would do that and then throw all the excess, anything extra you would throw on the smallest debt and do that. So the coach is not doing it right. So that may be his little plan that he came up with, but he should not be, especially being, if he's a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, this is when I would tell you to call the customer care line and report that person, because he should not be Ramsey certified. He should not be getting recommendations from Ramsey Solutions because he's not giving the Ramsey advice. And so I understand some people are financial advisors or even the SmartVestor pros and stuff. You know, I mean, I would even get it if it's somebody that came in off the street and didn't say anything about Ramsey, and he didn't get the referral from Ramsey about having him do non-Ramsey stuff. And that, I don't have a problem with that. But if somebody's referred through the Ramsey stuff to give them non-Ramsey advice, that is not cool, bro. So that's bad, okay? All right. Oh, deleted this person. 199 comments. It got too hot for that person, and so they deleted their username. So yeah, I like talking too much, even when I'm dying from COVID. I like talking too much, so I'm going over. I said I was only going to do an hour. Oh, maybe I'll just do this last one. We'll see. Which debt to pay off first? That would be the smallest amount. Not the smallest payment amount, but the smallest total debt amount for one company. All right. Baby step 3, Flair here. Finally gave up credit cards. This was happening. Saw a previous show with Jordan Rachel on YouTube and felt the need to share what I did regarding credit cards. Too long didn't read. Using debit cards helps me save between $500 and $700. My life is also simpler. I'm not a credit card person, right? Okay. Blah blah blah. Davis for a long time. Baby step 3 in mid 2021. And honestly, we're not needed there. We'll just assume you are speaking the truth when you say you've been stuck in a rut. We don't need the honestly. To be honest, honestly, we don't need that. I think I let up on the, oh, my chair went down. I think I let up on the gazelle intensity. Yep, and decided to take it easier. Yep. When you get done with step 3 is when you do that, not before. You want to make sure you keep the gazelle up until you're done with step 3, and then you can take your foot off the gas. So I'm still trying to build up my 6-month emergency fund. I feel like I'm just not getting there fast enough. Well, of course you're not, because you took it easier. You can't take it easier and get there fast enough too. Make up your mind. Anyway, since July, I've been trying to be more intense about this. One thing I did was put the credit cards aside to see if my spending patterns changed. I kept them at home and just rolled with my debit card. For me, this made a big difference. Your mileage may vary, right? Because some people need to spend cash to feel that pain. You apparently felt the pain realizing, oh, this is coming right out of my bank account. This is not like something I owe and can pay over time or can pay at the end of the month, that kind of thing. This is coming out of my bank account right now on a debit card. And so I'm much the same way. But not everybody can do that. Sorry. Some people, they have to use cash to feel that pain, like I said. Since July, trying to be more intense. It didn't make my spending went down. That's great. It doesn't for some people. Life is simpler. Sure, because you're buying stuff with your money. You have your money. It's in the account, and so you're not paying cash, but you're paying with the card that takes it directly out of your bank account. It's money you already have. You're not going into debt to do that. So, and that's simpler than, oh, well, let's get Capital One involved. Let's get them involved and let me have them pay for this, and then I owe them, and then maybe if I pay it off at the end of the month, I don't get any fees at all. But you just have to be late one time, and then all of a sudden there's fees and interest and stuff. So not worth it. So yes, it is very simpler. I realized that the episode I saw wasn't to date, which I think was Dr. John and Jordan. My post was inspired by a previous episode I saw today with Jordan Reed, talking about the most hated Ramsey advice. My bad. Oh yeah, they did talk about the most hated Ramsey advice on the, I think that was a Smart Money Happy Hour. That's what they're talking about. I don't know, maybe that was on the Ramsey show. At one point. Let me do one more. I like to talk too much. Some adhesiveness. Okay, 338. Baby step 2 flare. What's step baby step to pay out first? The smallest. 11K, 6K car loan. So that's what you would do. It's smallest to largest debt. That's the debt snowball. Theoretically, you do math. It tells you to do the debt avalanche instead, where you pay off the highest interest rate. But the problem is, a lot of the highest interest rate is the higher amounts of loans. And so, for example, this 50K. So if you made that your first debt, that would take a very long time to pay off. And so you don't get any traction. You don't get motivated by it being gone. The 6K car loan you could have done in, what, a couple months? 2-3 months? And so you could have that gone, and then you could apply that minimum payment and whatever extra to the next one, which is the 11K in credit card debt. And so, but you would, if there's multiple credit cards, you would do the smallest credit card then instead. And so you don't put all the like kinds of debt together. You don't do that either. You pay each individual company, smallest to largest. Just sold one of my vehicles for $3.5K in order to build a 1K emergency fund. Excellent. Accomplished that and put it in a joint savings account. I had to pay some more bills. We were buying credit card I used to fund the selling of the vehicle for detailed minor repairs, etc. So you don't wanna go into debt to sell vehicles to build your 1K emergency fund. Just sell it as is for less. Basically, I did a thing I shouldn't have done in the past few weeks with during our desperate. Ran up a credit card. Right, you shouldn't have done that. Usually the minimum payment is a baby $110, but it's now $420 due on the 1st of December. Yeah, so you did it wrong. So you still don't pay that one off first. Any problems they run into because of that, that's your stupid tax for being stupid. And so you get to pay the tax on that. So again, smallest amount to largest amount. So since it's $420, I'm assuming that's going to be more than the $6K car loan. All right, one more, last one. How would Ramsey categorize Starbucks on a budget? He wouldn't. You don't go there. You have it at home. Was thinking entertainment and or eating out. Yeah. Discretionary. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it deleted. Got too hot for that person again. Stop asking hot topic questions, and then you won't get a lot of comments. But yeah, Starbucks. If you're on baby step 2, the answer is no. You don't categorize it at all because it shouldn't be in there. You drink coffee at home. If you're on step 3, step 4, maybe go once a week or something like that. You don't do it every single day. That $6 adds up. Remember when it used to be called $4 instead of $6, but now it's closer to $6, isn't it? Isn't it? Okay, I should stop. I'm gonna stop. All right, so let's see. Let's go back here again. I would appreciate if you check out the Ramsey adjacent songs here. Lifestyle Creep song. Lifestyle Creep. Instead be a widow. Why the heck are you in debt? And so that's how that goes. And the baby stepping song is to levitating. It's how's it go? You and me, we're baby stepping. Like that. And if you I always mess up this part anyway. I need to sing it higher. Let's see, it's if you pay cash instead of lease, you can see your wealth increase. Pay cash instead of lease. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6. Anyway, Dua Lipa's Levitating, Jade Warshaw song. Debt fought Warshaw and Warshaw won. Debt fought Warshaw and Warshaw won. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz for good advice that she learned in her youth. John Deloney, ooh, he's got 2 PhDs, 2 more than me. Plus, he's got some other certs. John Deloney, and that's John Deloney reacting to. That's me reacting to John Deloney reacting to the John Deloney song. One of the people that works there was kind enough to show it to him. And of course, the original Baby Step song. If you want to have financial peace, you should do the baby steps. Written by Ed Sheeran and vocalized by Justin Bieber. That is, what's the name of the song? Love Yourself. And so take a listen to those. And let me pull up my plugs and then we'll be out of here. We up out of here. Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions, not just a guy running his mouth off or some dummy in the chat. I am a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation assessment with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. That is a video conferencing appointment, so you can be anywhere in the world and we can make that happen. I usually do that through Google Meet. You can email me about coaching or anything on my YouTube channel at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Channel donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. You can add me on the gram. At Coach Steve Money. And of course, this YouTube channel is youtube.com/CoachSteveMoney. Make smart financial decisions every day. And thank you so much for watching and allowing me to pop up on your YouTube feed.